to a brand new series of the Jonathan Ross Show, and we have got some fabulous guests lined up for you over the next few months. None more so than tonight. Let's have a look at who's in my first green room of the year. First up is a celebrity chef. Now, there are any number of celebrity chefs. There are sexy ones, cheeky ones. There's the Italian one from Celebrity Juice. But there's only one that can run a triathlon, cook a pork belly and swear like a trooper all at the same time. Not Mary Berry. It is, of course, Mr. Gordon Ramsay, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Gorgeous Gordon. My next guest is one of the biggest and most versatile stars in Hollywood. He was hilarious in Anchorman, Despicable Me and The 40-Year-Old Virgin. He was scary, creepy and Oscar-nominated in Foxcatcher. It's Mr. Steve Carell. My final guest is a homegrown musical talent, one of the biggest singing stars in the world today. It is the fabulously talented Ellie Goulding. Ellie will be chatting and performing for us later. Now, this is, as I said, our first show of 2016, and what a year it promises to be. Are you looking forward to the Olympics? Yeah. Not that much. OK. It's also the finals of Euro 2016 in France. All the home nations will be glued to their TV screens, except Scotland. You'll have your own programmes, of course. I'm sure, like me, you're going to be cheering on England. Shall we practice? Do you want to say, come on, England? Shall we do this together? Come on, England.
It was close. They nearly qualified. Come on. Give them
Scotland?
Yeah, give them some love.
Steve, who are you going to be supporting at Euro 2016?
England.
Good. Go on the English. Come on. Are you a regular fan of this particular sport?
Enormous fan of England in this particular sport.
Do you know what actual sport I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. And I am such a huge England fan. Go England!
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Steve Carell, behind us all the way. Shall we get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen? His restaurants deservedly get Michelin stars. The only thing that's salty and overripe in his place is the language. It is, of course, the one and only Mr. Gordon Ramsay. Great to see you again, buddy. Come on in. Gordon Ramsay. Gordon, I love it when you come on the show. I always do. You've always got so much energy. For a man of your age, you are remarkable. You really are.
So, thank you very much. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Now, your kids are all growing up pretty fast.
Yes.
No faster than anyone else's kids, but...
Yeah.
Do you get worried about this time of year? Now it's New Year, because you have twins who are 16?
Literally 16 last week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. So that was a big one.
And so part is for New Year's Eve. Do you have to talk to them before they go out about alcohol consumption, about going too crazy?
Yeah, we warn them, severely warn them. Otherwise, they face the consequences. So it's pretty severe. Also, 16 is a tough age, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to sort of dabble, a little bit nervous, and so they get a little bit overexcited, especially Jack and Holly.
Yeah. And are you looking forward to becoming a grandfather? No, because I'm looking forward to it. My kids aren't showing any signs of wanting to have kids yet, but you're the right age, and your kids are getting grown up now. I think you make a lovely grandfather.
I'm still in my 40s. Meg's 17, just started driving. Yeah. Which was a bit of a sort of worry.
So did you help? You didn't give her lessons, did you? Dad can't give kids lessons, because that's going to wind up with arguments.
You know, I didn't give her lessons, but I was a bit naughty. I sneaked into the car on her first lesson.
Wow.
Yeah.
You hid in the car?
Well, I hid in the back seat. Yeah, and, like, curled up in this little hatchback Corsa.
You're very, very weird.
It was like a sort of father figure just mentoring her. Anyway, the instructor said, yes, dive down. I dived down and sat behind the seats, and then Meg got in, and all of a sudden, you know, she goes in and she gets a seat and she pulls it right back and it just squashes my face. So I let out a scream and she freaked out and then kicked me out, so...
I would have loved it if you'd have got in the wrong car. It was a complete stranger. Do you help them out at home? Do you help them with their homework? Are you able to do that kind of thing? Are you smart enough, is what I'm saying?
Cheeky fucker.
Well, you know, my kids are more clever than me, and so you know...
When it comes to home economics and cookie club, of course I help them out. I think the level of pressure today is just ridiculous. Yeah. So those exams are insane. I didn't do A-levels, didn't go to uni, so I try to help out as much as I can, but it's bloody hard.
Yeah, but I suppose you learned elsewhere, didn't you? You learned...
That's cool.
What age did you... But when age did you start working at?
I started working at 18.
OK, so you were in your first kitchen at 18?
At 19, yes.
What was it? Did you have any jobs before cooking?
So I was literally a pot washer in a local Indian restaurant in Stratford-upon-Avon. Wow. My sister was a waitress there. Food was incredible.
I didn't know your sister was Indian.
Is that... Restaurant, it was local tandoori. Okay. I mean, that's where I learned, seriously, how to make an amazing curry. And that's even before going to India. So the place is incredible. I think I was on, like, 175 an hour.
And favourite food for you in the world? You said you've been to India to eat. You've been all over the world.
Yes.
If you had to choose just one cuisine, Gordon Ramsay, what would it be to cook?
To cook? Well, that's a good question. So, what would we do? I think it's depending on the mood and the company,
That's
right?
not what I asked you. I asked you if you could choose just one.
So I would go, let's say, yeah, French.
French?
I love France. I lived there for 3
you
years.
studied, and you can speak French, can't you?
Yes, I can, yes.
You learned French to cook in France, didn't you?
Yeah, I got my ass kicked in Paris, yeah, loved it.
Wow. I'm always struck by just how hard it seems, though. I'm on the other side of the table. I go to a restaurant, I pay money, I have a lovely meal more often than not. I'm appreciative of the work goes in, but the tension and the stress that seems to be, especially when I see your shows, when you had, in the past we were doing Kitchen Nightmares, and then when you do Hotel Hell, seeing what those people go through every single night to get that food out in time for that number of people, it's sort of, it seems just too hard. Yeah, I mean, it's a labour of love. Also, I think the issue in the restaurant business is that any muppet can go and open a restaurant. Yeah. So it's not like a doctor or, you know, you need qualifications to become a lawyer. You opened a lot of restaurants, haven't you? Yeah. Yes. But I think sometimes you go back to that dinner party and there's like, hey, you know, Beryl, you know, Frank, you know, food's great, you should open a restaurant. And that's what happens. Yeah. How many do you have now? Can you actually remember how many restaurants you've got? 32. 32? Yeah. Recently just opened up in Dubai, an amazing bread street kitchen out in Dubai. Right. And do you ever eat elsewhere? If you're in a city where there's a restaurant, presumably you have to show your face, but do you ever go out for a Nando's? Do you like fast food? do you like a Nando's? A Nando's is good food. It's good food. I've never been to Nando's. What? No, I'm sorry. Wow. But I'm going tonight. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, you were kind enough to pay for a meal that I had with you at one of your restaurants. I will treat you to a Nando's tonight. And then we're square. The kids go. Yeah. The kids go. I heard good things about it. Yeah, the kids go there and Wagamama, but I've never been there. Yeah, no. Worst meal you've ever had? Where's the worst meal you've ever had in your life? Because I've seen some stuff served up to you on Kitchen Nightmares, and I know you're not doing it anymore, but some of the stuff that people offered up, it was disastrous. Yeah, worst meal. There was a particular dish last year in California. It was a mac and cheese, and I started eating it. I said to the lady, I said, is this made with condensed milk? She said, no, breast milk. So it was just... You know, why was that a good ingredient? Why not just use regular milk? Do you know what she was thinking? No, I think she was going down the sort of healthy option. Yeah. Have you ever tasted breast milk? Of course I have. So it's very sweet. Yeah, it's like I don't remember. Milk. It was about 55 years ago. So it's like condensed milk mixed with sort of cold scrambled eggs. Yeah, so you wouldn't really... That was the worst dish. Okay. So Gordon Ramsay, who looks great for his age, he's grown into himself, ladies and gentlemen. He is 50 this year. Next year, yes. What month are you 50 in? 8th of November. 8th of November. 1966, which was a great year for football and wine. Yeah, was it, really? Well, England won the World Cup and wine. Oh, 66 they did. Yeah. So 50... Yes. And you seem to me, you're not in denial so much, but you seem to be wanting to get every last bit of juice out of the orange before you get decrepit. I mean, you push yourself pretty hard, don't you? I got really fit, yeah. I decided about 5 years ago when we took charge of the company and things were just manic, I just wanted to get myself fit. Having that healthy mind, going into work every day, just made everything so much easier. And also, I think the busier I got, the less time I had to myself, so... got a great coach. Time to clear your head. So you... Because you run after a session when you're working in the evening, don't you? Is that right? Yeah. I mean, make it difficult because time is an issue. So fill up the rucksack, potatoes, cauliflowers and oh, so you deliver as well? So... But, I mean, you know, turning 50-ish, mid-50s now, staying fit is important, right? Yes. So, well... I'm not interested in staying fit. Well, you've lost weight. I have lost weight. I lost weight because I started eating less carbohydrates. It's as simple as that. Did you have a gastric band? What do you... No. What do you want to be fit for? I mean, is there a goal? Yeah, just to set an example to the kids. Oh, that's nice. And to keep Tana interested. Yeah, she was all over me when I lost the weight, your wife. Unbelievable. I'm sorry. Come on. That's not good. But I know you've done any number, and you do, and this is a nice thing about Gordon. He does an awful lot of the running and things. He then turns it into a way of raising money and awareness for the various charities, and you have a charity with your wife. Yes. Tell me about your charity. Tell me the name of that and remind me what you do. So we've got the Gordon and Tana Ramsay Foundation. This year, for the next 2 years, we're working closely with Gosh. Previous 2 years with Cancer Research. Which, of course, is Great Ormond Street Hospital, which couldn't be a lovelier cause. Incredible. Really anyone who's been there comes away just...
And then this June we start off our second Ironman up in Staffordshire, the one that you failed to turn up.
Well, OK, we had
for.
a bet last time I was on the show with Gordon that I would, even though with a lack of preparation training, I would compete in the Ironman with Mo joining. And you know there were reasons why I couldn't do it. I did have a genuine health issue.
Bullshit. Yes, you did.
I had a knee problem, and I've still got it a bit, but, you know,
Yes.
but you were saying I could maybe do it and just do part of it.
Well, yeah, or turn up for the swim.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll get the most
it's quite
amazing...
a long swim, isn't it?
It's, yeah, just under 2 miles.
It's 2 miles?
Come out the swim, onto the bike, you know.
But how long you got on the bike then?
Just under 3 hours.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, come on.
That's
90K.
ridiculous.
And then finish off with half a marathon.
Yeah.
In some of the most stunning countryside in Staffordshire, beyond belief.
I bet it's beautiful. However...
Yes.
You tried to do one in Hawaii, and even you, and you've trained and you've done many, you came a cropper, didn't you?
Well, thanks for mentioning that, yeah.
Well, you did.
That's a big kick in the nuts at the beginning of the year.
Well, how do you then want other people who aren't trained, you expect me to go and do it? I'm going to keel over and have a heart attack. If you in prime of fitness...
No, Kona last year, my second time, I just wanted to go and improve the time and run for...
Don't encourage you,
another charity. So I took on too much water in the swim.
So when you say took it, you mean you drank too much?
Well, it was just very choppy, because it was a sea swim. So started the swim, took on a little bit too much salt water, got on the bike, couldn't hold any nutrition down, 180k on the bike.
Wow.
And then struggled. Thought I'd pull it back on the run. 2 miles into the run, bent down and went to sort of, you know, touch my toes, and next minute I wake up in the back of an ambulance.
So you fainted?
Yeah, I passed out. I'd never ever done that before.
Wow, but that hasn't put you off to trying to do it again?
No, I think the conditions were tough,
yeah.
and everybody, you know, said that. However...
And you're nearly 50.
So... it was just an amazing thing to attempt to do again.
It was amazing.
And now I want to go back.
I don't, you know, I'm not knocking you, because I do think it's incredible what you do, and I know the money you raise in the awareness race, it's a really lovely thing that Gordon and his wife do, and you've been committed for quite a while to it.
Yes.
Your TV career is going great guns, of course. I know you, as I said, much to my sadness, you're not doing Kitchen Nightmare anymore, but you're still doing Hotel Hell, is that right?
Yeah, just finished the third series.
OK.
Yeah.
How many places do you visit?
This year we did, 9 episodes.
I can't wait for the new shows. I love seeing you do that show. Do you know there's a French version of Kitchen Nightmares just been launched? Did you know that?
You're such a fucker.
Yeah, and... because I believe the reason why... Come on. The reason why Gordon reacted that way is because the host of it, who looks pretty good to me, he's a chef, and he's just opened a restaurant in France next door to one of yours, is that right? I mean, apparently he ran 2 Ironmen in Hawaii and didn't faint and get carried off like a baby.
He has opened his restaurant right next door to mine in Bordeaux.
Right.
So after I stopped doing Kitchen Nightmares, this amazing Frenchman stepped up, and he's now doing Cauchemar Cuisine.
Cauchemar Cuisine.
Right, en français.
Nightmare Kitchens.
Yes, and the Michelin Guide comes out next month, and his restaurant's right next door to mine, and he's an ex-professional rugby player, he's a boxer.
Is he as good a chef as you? Does he run as tight a ship as you?
Is he fuck?
Oh.
He's a very good chef.
OK.
Yeah, he's a very good chef, and...
You've got a nice smiley face.
He looks like a bulldog tuna wasp, come on.
Yeah. Looks like a minion. Do people, when they come in your restaurant, do they want you to be a little bit rude with them? Is it a bit Basil Fawlty? Do they want you to come out and you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? Do they want that from you?
Yeah.
Would you deliver that if they asked for that?
Going through customs or meeting police officers or, you know, just the general public in the US, yeah, they want you to either shout or scream at them, call them a donkey, get 2 slices of bread and stick an idiot sandwich. So they ask for all sorts of weird shit.
They're very specific requests.
Just look, you know, I have a day job, I'm passionate, and say, no, tell me to fuck off. No, I need a reason to get upset. And so they say, no, scream at me.
If you say to some of the customs, I need a reason to get upset, I'm sure they could give you one.
But it's a weird fascination, because I don't know, I just say, look, this is my job.
Yeah.
You know, I'm passionate, and I think what they've respected more than anything is I get straight to the point. So there's no BS, and we just get in there, get the job done, and get out. You're going to stick around for the rest of the show, I hope? Yes, I am. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled he's here. I always love him on the show. Mr. Gordon Ramsay, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to take a quick break, but still to come on the show, we'll be joined out here by Steve Carell and Ellie Goulding, so don't go away. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen, Mr.
Gordon Ramsay is still here, I'm delighted to say. But let's get my next guest out. He is a fabulous comedy performer, a brilliant actor. He's just been nominated for a Golden Globe for his latest movie. It is the multi-talented Mr. Steve Carell, ladies and gentlemen. Steve, how lovely to have you back on the show.
Lovely to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Do you know Gordon? Have you met Gordon in your show business travels in the past ever?
I never have, no.
Wow, wow. Have you ever eaten at one of his establishments?
I have, and it was delicious.
Oh, good. Well, that's a relief. And then...
A+++.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So you're back in town here. You have a new movie coming out a week on Friday, which, and this is exciting, you've been nominated, a Golden Globe, and we will find out that result tomorrow, I believe. Whether you won it, so congratulations.
Thank you. And I was also nominated for a Nobel Prize.
Wow. Long overdue, if I may say so.
I thought so.
Does it mean much? I guess being nominated is an exciting thing. Are you someone who pays attention to that, or were you not even aware?
I would like to pretend that I'm cool enough to not pay attention, but I pay attention.
Right, okay.
When I was nominated for an Oscar, I was up at 5 in the morning with a cup of coffee, sitting at the television set. And I didn't wake up my wife. I didn't want to disturb her. But unbeknownst to me, she was upstairs in the bedroom watching at the same time. And when my name was announced, we ran, like she ran to the steps and I ran up, and we were bouncing up and down, like 5 o'clock in the morning, trying not to wake up our kids. Really, really exciting.
And that was for Foxcatcher. And what I suppose makes it even more special is you're someone who came to us, or came to prominence with kind of comedy acting and roles in less serious fare. So for you to go into a movie like that and prove you can really do it, what an achievement.
It was I was very lucky to be offered a part like that. It's not... I didn't think I would be on the short list for a part like... Well, there's the picture.
Yeah.
It's... that is not something that I was throwing my hat in the ring for, because I didn't see myself playing a part like that, but the director did.
Not an easy man to engage with or to like on screen, because he wasn't in real life, of course.
No, he was an odd bird, to be sure. I obviously never got a chance to meet him, but, I met a lot of people who knew him and had worked with him, and I studied tapes of him. He actually commissioned a documentary on himself.
Wow.
And so I was able to watch that. The most interesting part of that was watching the outtakes, because he was instructing the documentarian how to film him and get this shot, and that was very telling.
So a real control freak.
Very much so. And the actual documentarian who shot that played himself in the film, too. So when he was interviewing my character in the film, it was actually the guy asking the real questions. So it was a little bit odd.
Did you see the film, Foxcatcher? Yeah. Did you really see the film?
Yeah. Stop.
You saw the film. What was it about, Gordon?
I'm not going to discuss that right now. Come on.
Just say it was an A+++.
See, that's the nice thing to do, you see. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the new film, because it's not as grim a story as that, but in different ways it's a shocking and terrifying scenario as well. This is The Big Short. Now, how do you sum up this movie succinctly for us?
It's about a group of individuals on Wall Street who saw there was a mortgage bubble and essentially bet against the economy. And their win would be everyone else's failure.
So they saw that people were, banks mainly, and other kind of financial institutions and hedge fund guys, they were betting heavily on something which was at best shaky, at worst possibly illegal even.
Exactly.
What they were doing. And they bet against that.
A high level of fraudulent behavior that they uncovered along the way, because they were the only ones who bet against this. They were shorting the market.
But this is incredible, because now we know the story. This is when many institutions collapsed, Lehman Brothers and other big banks. It was the whole subprime mortgage fiasco. And when that happened, I thought, how can this happen? And this film makes it very clear to you that this happened largely, it was a combination of greed, and it was a combination of kind of arrogance as well. And these guys felt somewhat untouchable in their own bubble while they were carrying on ruining people's lives.
Yeah, there's a real conflict there morally, because the character that I play is a guy who's trying to find out the truth, and the more he discovers, the more he realizes how insidious the whole thing is. But at the same time, he stands to make hundreds of millions of dollars off of the downfall of the American economy. So he's not altruistic, you know.
Yeah.
He definitely has some skin in the game.
And these are all true people. This is a real story with actual characters. You based this on a real man who you met, I believe.
I did. I met with him, met his family. He came to set a few times. He was there the second day I was shooting. So, yeah, it's odd to have the guy who you're playing just standing off camera, like looking at. There he is.
Yeah.
And very proud of his hair. His wife, actually, he told me his wife only married him because of that head of hair.
Now, you put on a lot of weight to play this role.
About 25 pounds.
25 pounds? That's
Yeah.
a lot of weight. Then this was deliberate, or it just happened and you said you were doing it for the part?
Yeah, no, the director asked me to do it.
Is that one of the best things anyone could ever say to you, is you need to put on 25 pounds?
It's pretty great.
OK. How did you do it?
I ate a lot of deep dish pizza. Are you familiar with deep dish, Chicago deep dish pizza?
I'm relatively not as familiar as you obviously became, but I am familiar.
It was a horrifyingly wonderful experience.
Wow.
I actually loved it.
Would you have a dessert afterwards as well, or was it just the pizza?
Another pizza.
Maybe some cheesecake. No, it was. And I showed up on set the first day, and it's the first time I've ever gotten a compliment of someone saying, "Wow, you're so fat." Good for you. And I was happy, but at the same time, like, what? It's an odd compliment to receive.
Did your wife join in with the whole eating fest, or did she... Because I would have thought out of sympathy and also just sheer greed, she would have wanted some of that action.
She did not join the eating fest, no. She, had one piece of deep dish pizza over about 3 months.
Yeah. And did she... How do I put this politely?
I know you're going.
I have to ask. I feel I have to ask this.
All right.
In marital situations...
Meaning
adult time...
I'm not catching your drift.
When the jiggery met the pokery, did she find the extra timber delightful, or were you always underneath? That's what I'm asking. That's what By the way, welcome to London.
The jiggery met the poker?
Yeah,
Is that what you said?
I was reaching there.
You see the jiggery?
I don't need the exact details of what's going on. I just wondered.
Friday nights. Only on Friday nights does that happen.
OK.
No, it was fine.
Yeah.
She loves me for who I am.
OK, let's have a look at it. This is The Big Short, and it's a film which takes a difficult and challenging subject, makes it fun, makes it entertaining, and made it very easy for me to actually see for the first time what had gone on, and it's an incredible drama. This is The Big Short.
Hey! Excuse me! Hi, honey.
The therapist called. You did it again.
There were no cabs. What was I supposed to do?
You're running around like you have to right every wrong in the world.
Okay.
Now angry.
Fine. You know what? I'm a mean guy, and I'm pissed off. You have no idea the kind of crap people are pulling, and everyone's walking around like they're in a damn Enya video. They're all getting screwed, you know. You know what they care about? They care about the ball game. Or they care about what actress just went into rehab.
I think you should try medication.
No, we agreed. If it interfered with work.
You hate Wall Street, but maybe it's time to quit.
I love my job.
You hate your job.
I love my job.
You're miserable.
I love my job. I love my job, honey.
Mark.
Cynthia, I'm okay. I really am. Hey. No, my cab. That's my cab. That's my cab. That is my cab. Not schmuck. I'll call you later.
Steve Carell, barely recognisable once again, a fine performance. It's incredible seeing the lives these people lead, and there's a sequence where your character and his gang, they go to Vegas to see a big conference and to see try and work out just whether or not the people really are doing what they're doing.
Right.
Or whether or not they kind of know something you don't even. And you see just the kind of, waste is the wrong word, but the kind of indulgence that comes with that kind of money, the kind of self-indulgence. You must have a lot of bankers in your restaurants, and I'm not using rhyming slang there. But you must meet a lot of these high-end guys. Do you find, are they sometimes out of control, or do you find them...
Yeah, I mean, I think just before 2008, you know, we had a group of bankers that blew 44,000 at Petrus.
Wow.
Yeah, and the weird thing about that was they had a big collection of wine, so there's 7 or 8 different bottles, and then cheese with, like, 6 bottles of beer. So why drink all that wine and then finish it with beer? Didn't make sense.
And what? So the wine, how much was that expensive wine a bottle if they got through that amount of cash?
Oh, 1970 Petrus, Latour, these things were, in sort of £9,000 to £15,000 a bottle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think when you've got 3 or 4 different blends, it spoils the nice ones. So, you don't want to taint that
And
flavour.
to finish it off with beer seems a weird thing to do,
strange.
and then maybe some deep pan pizza on the way home.
There is nothing... maybe I just don't have enough of a refined palate, but nothing to me is worth that kind of money.
Are you a foodie, though? Are you someone who seeks out kind of high-end stuff, or are you fairly straightforward in your taste?
I'm fairly straightforward. Yeah, I won't lie.
Okay,
I'm a meat potatoes kind of guy.
So a big night out for you and the missus before the jiggery pokery. When you go out, what would be a night? Do you still have a romantic date evening?
We'd start with the diggery pokery. Then we'll
It's
go out
jiggery, not diggery.
Oh.
That's the Australian way of doing it. I don't want to know what you're blowing there, but I'm pleased you can reach it. I'm glad for you.
We go... Where do we go? We went to an extremely fancy meal outside of San Francisco, and it was lost on us. Just, you know, the duck foam confit. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure as duck foam goes, this is fantastic. But how late is Burger King? They'll come out on different plates.
Yeah.
Like they went and shopped at completely different stores for every plate, for every dish.
So none of it matched? It wasn't from the same set?
I don't... It was just... Again, it was part of the experience. It was part of the allure. Oh, there's a square plate, and now there's a tiny square plate with an enormous dish, and a huge plate with a prawn. And it became... Really, we were trying to guess the next course, like, what size plate is this going to be on?
So,
and
Gordon,
what shape?
you're listening to all this feedback? You're going to change what you do? You must have gone a bit... There must be things you've served and you thought, oh, you know what, we were swept up in the duck foam fever there, but now that bubble's burst. I mean, there must have been things you've put on plates over the years which you regret.
I think back when I first started, when I came back from France, when I opened my first restaurant, Aubergine, back in 1993, it was the foam sort of era. But
Everyone
not now.
loved the foam. Why did people go nuts for the foam back then?
I mean, it's a weird texture, and you know, Tana eats... What is this thing? It's a mouthful of air, so it looks weird. And then after 2 or 3 minutes, when it sits there, after your partner's staring at it, it looks gross. It's like sort of toxic scum on a stagnant pool.
That's on a good
That
night.
was actually what it was called.
I was asking Gordon about his first job earlier on. What kind of jobs did you have before you decided you want to act? What was your goal, and what kind of life did you lead, Steve?
I thought I was going to become an attorney. I thought I'd be a lawyer.
Well, so why did you change your mind?
You know what? Here's what it was. I was applying to law school, and I was filling out the application, and the essay question was, why do you want to be an attorney? And I couldn't answer it. That's really the long and short of it. I couldn't write an essay other than I thought it would please my parents. And,
wow.
And so I decided I was going to take a break and determine what I really wanted to do.
And disappoint your parents.
And disappoint my parents.
So when you first of all, I mean, we all knew Steve initially as a comic actor, as a performer with kind of comedy skills, and I assumed you come from that background. So were you attracted to comedy first, or was it you wanted to be a serious actor, but they were just the opportunities you got?
Those were the opportunities I got. I just wanted to be an actor and potentially make a living doing it. So early on, I just tended to get more roles that were comedic in nature.
Because you were with the improv group, weren't you? The Second City in Chicago?
Was.
And that's where you met your wife, isn't it?
I was, yeah.
So was she a performer too?
I was actually her teacher at SAG. There she is.
Wow. Is that legal for you to go home with one of your students?
Well, we weren't doing the jiggery penalty poke at that point. No, I saw her in class and I thought, wow, she's just a knockout. She's so smart and she's so... well, I mean, first sight, love at first sight, really.
Really? That's so sweet.
No, it really was. We celebrated 20 years.
Congratulations.
In August. Thanks.
And was it love at first sight for you as well, Gordon?
It was hard. I was living in Paris. I came back to a friend's wedding, and Tana was dating a friend of mine. Yeah, I know. And we celebrate 20 years this year. So, yeah,
wow. Congratulations.
It was love at first sight, yeah. But I couldn't go there because, you know, my mate. So she came to me.
So you had to wait for a while?
I had to wait 2 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So
Are you still friends?
No, not good.
And so those 2 years, though, you were carrying a torch for her, so you must have felt pretty awful.
Tana at the time was only 17 as well, so I thought it was apt, you know,
yeah.
to wait to at least, you know, 19, 20.
That smile you're doing this, something you're not telling me.
No, it's you. So, and I went back to Paris, finished my training, then I came back, opened my first restaurant, and I suppose having the first chance to cook for her properly really sort of set it up. But she came with a boyfriend.
I can't imagine how great that is to have that ability to woo a woman, to cook for her. Yeah. Oh, my, it would have happened a lot sooner for me had I been able to...
Were you a late starter with the opposite sex?
I was so lame. When I first started talking to Nancy, I'd go across the street, and she worked at the bar across the street from Second City, and I used to go over and order a Diet Coke and hang out at the bar and talk to her. And for months, we talked at each other like, hey, if I ever asked someone out, it would be someone like you. And she'd say, boy, if someone like you ever asked me out, I'd go out on a date with that someone who... But it was like weeks turned into months of like, hey, how you doing? And we didn't do anything until finally one of us kind of blinked and we ended up going out.
Wow. Who blinked first? Who asked?
She blinked first. She
Wow.
was like, okay, let's go. And I don't think I said, let's go out, but I said, okay. It was like Nerd Patrol. It was...
OK, before we bring Elliot, I've got to say one thing which I suppose we should thank you for, and also maybe people sometimes aren't so grateful, is because partly you're responsible for introducing Minions to the world in a major way, which people love and some people hate because they're everywhere.
You can't hate them. Great. You can't hate the Minions.
Your kids, they love the Minions?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't one of your children a Minion?
One of my kids used to do the Minion voice, and so I asked at the end of one of my recording sessions if he could come in and do some Minion voices.
Wow.
So he was, I think, 6 at the time.
Wow.
So they brought the mic down, and we were patched in because the directors were in Paris. So they kept the line open, and the directors were talking to him on one of these video monitors and talking him through, okay, now sound confused. And it was the most adorable thing. I don't know if they used any of it for the movie, but it was really special.
Of the various characters you've played, do people ask you most, if they ask you to do something, do they ask you for something from Despicable Me, do they ask you something from 40-Year-Old Virgin, Anchorman, or Foxcatcher? Which is the one they ask you to do the most readily?
I thought of somebody coming up and saying, hey, do some of those funny lines from Foxcatcher. Wow, that is dark. Well, little kids like when I do Gru.
Yeah.
And that's fun. Like I'll do, like for kids in need or something or in hospitals, I can leave messages like, hello, how are you doing? I hope you're feeling better. It's really, that's kind of fun to pull out.
When I'm ill, will you phone me up and do the Foxcatcher voice down the phone?
Yes, I will.
OK, Steve Carell, ladies and gentlemen, The Big Short opens a week on Friday. It's a great fun. It's very exciting. What a great cast as well. Ryan Gosling is there with you. Christian Bale.
Fantastic.
I mean, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
All those ugly guys are in it with you as well. But it's a tremendous film. We're going to take a break right now. When we return, we'll be joined by Ellie Goulding. But for now, join me in saying thank you to Mr. Steve Carell, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. Gentlemen, thanks for sticking around. Let's get my next guest out. She is a fabulous singer who can do it all. Before she comes out, let's take a look at her in action.
How long will I love you? As long as stars are above you. And we're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. Gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, 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 burn.
Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, the incredible Ellie Goulding. Love to see you again. Here's Gordon Steve. Come on, sit down. Oh. I'm loving the leather shorts. Are they culottes, do we call them? Or they, what do we call the leather shorts?
I think they're just shorts,
Just
but
shorts.
I'm wearing them high-waist. I don't know if they're designed to be high-waisted.
Okay.
But
No, so congratulations to Ellie, because we already said this to Steve. Steve's nominated for Golden Globe. You're also nominated
Yes.
for Golden Globe at the same ceremony. Wow. This is for the song Love Me Like You Do, that featured in 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
I believe.
That's the one.
I didn't see that movie. You didn't see it either?
No.
Steve, did you
Which
see
is
the
awful.
50 Shades of Grey film?
I lived it.
I won't ask which parts. Gordon, you must have seen it. I bet you've got it on in the bedroom at home, haven't you?
Tana showed me it on her iPad.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Certain sequences.
So was that more like an instruction manual? See, that's how you do it. Are you looking forward to the ceremony? I guess you're going to be there for the ceremony, are you? I hope so.
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. But I honestly never in a million years thought I'd be nominated for... I think it was a Golden Globe and 2 Grammys in the same week.
Wow.
And that just all kind of hit me. And it was in the craziest week of my life. I'd been everywhere. And so I couldn't really be blown away. I was too tired to appreciate it.
Too much else going on?
Too much else going on, yeah. But now I'm like, oh, my God, it's insane and amazing, yeah.
And what would you do if you have to go up and make a speech, if the happy chance that you win it, and fully deserved it would be, but are you ready for that? Have you prepared any thoughts? Are you a good public speaker?
No. I'm a terrible public speaker. I don't understand it. You'd think, because I perform, that I'd be able to get something together.
Well, you speak on
rubbish.
stage. I've heard you speak to the audience on stage.
No, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I say, like, thanks.
Yeah, come to think of it, it wasn't the best part of the evening, but I mean, you didn't seem too nervous.
I just can't do it. Public speaking just really isn't my thing. I have, like, a moment of genius and I say something, like, I think, God, how did I come up with that? And then I go back to realising what I'm actually doing and then just waffle and say the same things. And I can see people starting to judge me and, like, hurry up. And so yeah, so
hey, welcome
not
to
good.
my career. But, you don't want to add anything to this, Steve, but what would you say if you were to win the Golden Globes? Do you have a...
Don't be, first of all, don't be nervous. Just know that everyone there and across the world are judging you.
Yeah, exactly.
And no matter what you say, someone is going to pick it apart online.
It may just be one person, but even if one person is going, oh, she's rubbish, then that will affect me, like, for a long time.
Do you read things online, though, or have you managed to kind of insulate yourself somewhat from that? Because that would be the sensible thing to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
If you can.
Which, of course, I don't do. In the beginning, I did read stuff a lot, and I think everyone does. Like, you end up just getting a bit obsessed with it, and now I don't read anything. I have no idea what's being said about me.
So are you on any social media? Because I know Ed Sheeran recently bailed out of Twitter and he seems to have moved away. So are you on any of those sites?
I'm on them all. I'm on them all.
Really?
I'm on Instagram. I like Instagram. I don't tweet as much, but I do like posting pictures. I think it's a nice way of not saying anything, but just capturing little moments of my career and my life. Yeah.
Steve, are you big on Twitter?
I'm big on Twitter and jiggery.
OK, yeah. That's an app I'm looking forward to downloading. Golden, do you take any... Because you must have, because you are a very big character, of course, deliberately so, and a strong character, there must be a lot of people who think that you're fair game.
You know, I've never sworn on Twitter, ever, and I love taking great pictures.
I've tweeted you a few times, I think.
Tweeted you, but yes.
I shouldn't really admit that, but I have.
And I think it's a great way of communicating, because it's instant. You could be anywhere, and it's gone in seconds.
It's a fun thing. Do you... now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that you actually had a bit of a crush on Gordon. Remarkable, though that sounds to all of us.
Is this... I don't know if this is... If I should really...
I think...
Should I say no? Yes, OK,
Speak
fine.
from the heart, Ellie.
Yeah.
Wow. But you look around you here, we have 3 good-looking gentlemen. You have the... It could have been a lawyer. We know he can put on the weight and take the weight off. One of the finest acts of his generation.
Which I love, yeah.
You have a gifted polymath. I don't know either. And then you have a guy who got lucky. And then you've gone with...
Yeah, he takes care of it. Like, I think that's the thing. If I really, like, think about it, it's because he keeps fit, and I love that.
Wow, OK.
Yeah.
OK.
But I shouldn't say this. It was naughty. No, I shouldn't. No.
So the album is terrific, and the song you do tonight, Army, the lyrics, it strikes me when reading them, it seems like they are about a specific person. Is that right? Is that wrong?
Yeah, it's right. She's here somewhere. She's my best friend, and she's called Hannah. And I realised I just wrote songs about boys a lot, and I got a bit bored of that and wanted to write something about the one person that's kind of kept me sane and been there for me. And we were in yeah, we went to college together, and I remember the first time we met, I thought she was way too cool for me and way too pretty to come and talk to me, but she did. And I remember that moment. She was like, "Do you want to be mates?" And I was like, "Yeah, right." And then that was that. And yeah, and I wrote this song. It's about, you know, everyone has unique friendships, and you can have fallouts with your friends, and then you can have that friend that is just there through the mentalness of what I do and the mentalness of what she does. And so I wrote a song about it, yeah.
We're right at the beginning of the year now. You're touring in Europe and the USA this year?
Everywhere, yeah. I'm here at the O2.
Well,
yeah.
I saw you perform live. I know whenever I bump into you, I always tell you this, and I'm sorry, it's because I'm old and I forget I've told you before, but I saw you at Coachella, the big festival in Los Angeles, and it was incredible, and I was oddly proud, even though I have nothing to do with your success. I felt very proud. I was going around telling Ellie Goulding, I know her. So you're touring, but you're doing a big world tour this year. Is that right?
Yeah,
Is it pretty big?
It's big. It's pretty much the whole year. And I'm doing like I like Gordon. I told Gordon earlier that I was doing like arena shows. It genuinely is the first time I've done like an arena
proper big one
tour.
But your songs, a lot of them that have got that big anthemic feel. So I guess they really work well in that big space.
Yeah, I play a lot of festivals, and so I end up thinking about what they're going to sound like live and what the reaction is going to be. And so I almost design it to be
for
live.
That kind of effect.
Yeah,
well,
because my first album was I made it in my not in my bedroom, in my friend's bedroom in Bromley, in near London, and I didn't have any idea, any clue as to how it was going to translate live. But now I know, and I've kind of got a bit more into the process and how we're going to do it.
So you know what you're doing.
Well, yeah, I could say that now, yeah.
The gift of music, to be able to play an instrument, it's always eluded me. I had piano lessons in my later years, never managed to actually do anything with it. Gordon, you play any instruments at all?
No.
Ever as a child?
No, nothing, no.
Nothing at all? Steve, did you ever play anything?
Baritone, horn, and fife.
Wow. Fife. Fife's an unusual choice.
They are the least sexy instruments in the world.
You mean like this kind of a fife? Wow. I don't think I've ever heard a fife played live. I wouldn't even know, is that where you put your mouth on this?
Yes, it is.
Wow. But would you pass it over to Stephen? Because I would love to hear a tiny bit of fiffery. What do you call it when you play a fife?
Fifing.
Fifing.
Okay, I've never... Okay.
Well, I could have done that myself, I think.
It's not a good fife.
That's pretty good, that was pretty good. Even with the substandard fife, you put it out of the bag, sir.
I'm going to bring my fife.
Will you please bring your fife?
I'm going to bring my fife and my baritone horn, and I'll do a duet.
And when you do, I'll say, I now present Man and Fife. Wow, I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry. OK, so you stay pretty fit, I guess, Ellie. You have to for the tour. You now, is it boxing training you do?
Yeah.
Is this right? Are you pretty good at this?
Yeah.
OK. Confident.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy about it? Why this kind of exercise in particular?
I have a scary passion for it. I think I'm quite good at fighting. Yeah. I don't know where it came from, honestly. Like, I was really into running. I'd done a bunch of half marathons, and I was into that, and I was really focused on that. And then I did a boxing session and fell in love with it.
Wow.
And I've been boxing for a few years. And,
I wanted to get you to show some boxing, and we could do some, but they told me we might not have time now. Is that why we won't have time to show boxing?
What? I was looking forward to that.
OK, we can do it pretty quickly. Why don't we do some quickly? We need a volunteer. And I think Steve is a guest in our country, and he's already played the fight. So he's already done more than his share, whereas you haven't really pulled your weight this evening.
You want me to be the punch bag?
Well, because you can block and stuff, but you could just show us some of your skills.
And supposing Ellie misses and knocks me out.
Well, then that is a result we'll look forward to. And that could be great, couldn't it? OK, well, we're going to have to take a break now. Bring out the gear and we'll strap Gordon up. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away. Ellie, Gordon and Steve, and as you can see, Gordon has volunteered to take a few boxing lesson moves from Ellie. So how do you normally work it? I know you're wearing the wrong boots for this, of course.
Yeah, that might be a...
OK, what could you show us with Gordon on the receiving end?
I don't want to hit you hard.
You can do it. You can
Ellie,
do it.
hit him as hard as you can, because... Put some weight in.
I'm left-handed, so my left like thing is better.
OK, well,
so,
hit me with the left.
So, like, this would be like a little tiny one,
okay.
and then this would be a
right.
massive one.
Nice.
But you have to kind of stay, well, yeah, kind of like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Watch my face, please.
This is weird, especially after the crush thing. This is kind of...
Go for it.
This is like a very odd scene from Shades of Grey that didn't make the cut.
I don't want to hit you hard, though.
Hit me hard, It's fine.
OK, well,
It's fine.
apparently my best one is...
Right.
Oh, there you go. That's good. Let me have some of that. Let me have some of that action. Come on. Steve, you sure you don't want to do it on the street?
Honestly.
I'm sorry, I just got excited.
Calm down. Bloody hell.
Thank you for that, Ellie. Ellie Goulding, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like to head out to perform, the fabulous Ellie Goulding. So join me next week, where among my guests will be one of the true legends of British screen acting, the remarkable Sir Michael Caine will be here. Now, I'm thrilled and honoured that he's agreed to come on our show. But just before we get to Ellie, Steve, you used to be a DJ way back in the day, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Were you a professional DJ?
No, I was in a college radio station.
College radio station. Was it a popular show?
No.
Or what was the name of your DJ persona?
Sapphire Steve Carell.
Could I ask you, Sapphire Steve, to introduce Ellie, maybe, for the audience?
I would be so honoured.
OK. OK, if you'd like to look down that camera there, take it away, Sapphire Steve.
Here performing Army, it's Ellie Goulding.
I know that I've been messed up. You never let me give up. All the nights and the fights and the blood and the breakups. You're always there to call up. I'm a pain, I'm a child